What's going on, everybody? Spunky 1901 coming to you guys from a video. Coming to you guys from my Eagles Commanders Week 16 preview. So here it is. The Eagles are in the final 3 games of this regular season. They have the Commanders this week, then they have Buffalo next week, and then they finish the season out against the Commanders again. It's very, very simple for the Eagles. Win 1 game, you win the NFC East, and you also you clinch a playoff berth. Eagles do not win one of these games, and the Cowboys win out, then it goes to the Cowboys. So right now, the Eagles have their fate in their hands. At least when it comes to the NFC East. No team has won the NFC East 2 years in a row since the Eagles did it in 2004, 2005. So the Eagles are on the verge of making history. Breaking that consecutive streak of nobody winning the NFC East. 20-something year streak. They could break that with a win against Washington this Sunday, or if Dallas loses on Sunday. But I said this Sunday, but the Eagles play actually on Saturday. But yeah, so yeah, the Eagles they control their destiny right now when it comes to making the playoffs. When it comes to the number 1 seed in the NFC, the Eagles will have to win out, and they will have to get a little help. With Seattle winning last night against the Rams, if Seattle wins another game, the Eagles have no shot to get that number 1 seed because Seattle has 12 wins. The most wins the Eagles can the most the Eagles can do is win 12 games if they win out. So yeah, Eagles put themselves in this position, but at the same time, it might turn out being a blessing in disguise because last year the Eagles were not the number 1 seed, but everything unfolded quite well for the Eagles, and they went on and won the Super Bowl. But we shall see. First thing first is handling your business against Washington. Now, speaking of this game, going over the injury report here, we have a couple questionable Eagles players and a couple Eagles players who are going to be, without a doubt, out of this game. 2 of those guys should not be a surprise. Jalen Carter is still dealing with the shoulder surgery, and he's going to be out. Lane Johnson, who's been dealing with the foot injury, he's been dealing with that for weeks now. He will not be playing. And if you ask me, I don't think either one of these guys are going to play the remaining of the regular season games. I think that they're going to wait to the playoffs to bring both of them back. Questionable is tight end Cameron Latu. He has a stinger. And offensive tackle Cameron Williams. He has a shoulder injury. Looking at Washington, we know for a fact that quarterback Jayden Daniels will not be playing for the rest of this season. Washington is mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, so it makes no sense for them to, the guy that you view as your future, it makes no sense to put him on the field. So Jayden Daniels will not be playing this game. That means that Marcus Mariota will be getting the start yet again for Washington. Defensive tackle Eddie Goldman is dealing with a concussion. He will be out. Offensive tackle Larry Tunsil is dealing with a oblique injury. He has been ruled out, so that's a big one for them as well. Tight end Colson Yankov is dealing with an ankle injury. And of course, we know Zach Ertz is out for the season. Questionable for this game is cornerback Jonathan Jones with a rib injury and defensive tackle Johan Newton. He's dealing with a personal illness. So that's the current injury report for this game. Yeah, the Eagles right now just got to win one of these 3 games, and that mathematically eliminates the Cowboys from playoff contention. Cowboys lose a game, they're eliminated right there alone. But you obviously want the Eagles to eliminate them by winning this game here. Keys to victory are always the same, man. It starts with the big man up front, the trenches. Offensive line, defensive line, those guys set the tone for the game. Keys to victory in this game are going to be very, very simple, man. You gotta take away the running game of the Washington Commanders. If you could take away the running game and you could force Marcus Mariota to have to throw the ball, then you got them exactly where you want them at. If we can take away the running game, with from Washington, and like I said, force Marcus Mariota to put the ball in the air, get the pressure on Marcus Mariota, because Marcus Mariota is one of those guys that if you get pressure on him, he will make mistakes. If you get pressure on him, Marcus Mariota, he will make mistakes. So defense has got to get that pressure, got to get in his face, hit him early, hit him often throughout this game. Wide receivers for Washington, of course, Deebo Samuel, Terry McLaurin, Treylon Burks. They've been using him quite a bit. He was a guy who the Tennessee Titans drafted when they traded A.J. Brown to the Eagles, and the Tennessee Titans drafted Treylon Burks as a replacement for A.J. Brown in Tennessee, and obviously that didn't work out. Now he's with the Washington Commanders. Another guy to watch out for is Chris Moore. He's a very solid wide receiver for the Washington Commanders. But yeah, we definitely gotta get that pressure. Gotta get in Marcus Mariota's face often. Just continue to hit him, continue to throw him off balance, make him uncomfortable in that pocket. If we do that, we get a couple turnovers, then this should be a game the Eagles should win. We are definitely the better team. We are definitely the better team. We should go into Washington and beat this team. So. Yeah, the Eagles have their fate in their hands right now when it comes to NFC East. When it comes to any higher seed, then obviously they got to handle their business the next 3 weeks and get a little help. But right now, my focus is just putting that NFC East away. I want to be able to say that we're the first team to win the NFC East since we did it. We'll win the NFC East back-to-back since we did it in 04-05. It's long overdue. This should have happened back in 2023. The Eagles had the chance to do it, and then they, after winning in 2022, and then they just completely collapsed. And this season looked like it was heading that direction, and it very well still could be heading that direction. I'm not quite there yet, celebrating because we beat the Raiders. The Raiders are the Raiders for a reason. The Eagles, I'm hoping that, fingers crossed, the Eagles, they go on a run here, and they go into the playoffs strong and have a strong playoff run. And, obviously we want this season to end with a victory in Santa Clara, California. That's what we want ultimately, but obviously 1 week at a time. Offensively, the offense looked pretty good against the Raiders last week in Philly. However, like I said, it was the Raiders. I'm not putting a whole lot of stock in that. But if the offense can get into a groove early and stay in the groove throughout the game, this is a game the Eagles should win. They should definitely win. Get that running game going with Saquon Barkley. I would like to see Saquon Barkley. Get the ball early and often in this game, because I think there are some places that we can exploit we could definitely exploit the Washington Commanders on D-line. So I would like to see them get the ball. I would like to see them get the ball early and often in this game. Try to get that. Establish that that running game early. If we can do that, then that's a good place to be. I would also like to see Tank Bigsby get more carries, because Tank Bigsby is one of those guys, man. I love the way this guy runs. He is a damn. His name says alone, he's a tank. This guy just runs right at you and run you over. I love watching Tank Bigsby run. I would like to see him get the ball a lot more in this game. So yeah, get that running game going early. Establish the run game. I think we can exploit this Washington Commanders D-line. Get the running game going early. That will open up things to the pass game, the play action pass. Dallas Goedert, Grant Calcaterra, getting those guys involved. And then, of course, getting your two playmakers on the outside, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, getting those guys, involved early in the game as well. And, of course, Jahan Dotson, whenever we choose to use him, get him involved in the game as well. So O-line got to do their job, got to open up those running lanes, open up those running lanes for Saquon Barkley, Tank Bigsby, getting those guys on carries early and often throughout the game. And they got to make sure they protect Jalen Hurts. They got to make sure that Jalen Hurts is protected throughout the game. Score prediction, I'm picking Washington to win this because right now, like I said, with the Eagles, I'm not quite there yet, believing this team is back on track. I have to see more. I'm picking Washington to win this game by a score of 24-21. A field goal in the fourth quarter, But obviously I hope I'm wrong, But Saturday afternoon game in Washington, well, in Landover, Maryland. They don't actually play in Washington, D.C., Landover, Maryland. So I'm picking them to win 24-21 with my fingers crossed. Obviously, the Eagles go out there and they get the job done. But everybody got to do their job. Offense, defense, special teams, all three sides of the ball. Everybody has to work as a collective unit. Coaching has to be good. The coaching has not been that good for the Eagles this year. Let's just keep it real. Kevin Patullo, I'm not on board with Kevin Patullo. I still want this guy gone. I don't think he's a good offensive coordinator. That's just me being real. He could prove me wrong with a final stretch here, and he does well. He could prove me wrong there, but I believe it when I see it. But everybody has to do their job. Offense, defense, special teams, coaching, medical team, everybody has to do their job. But obviously here's hoping the Eagles get the job done. They win this game. They win the NFC East. The first team to win NFC East back-to-back, like I said, since the Eagles did it in 04-05. I really want to be able to say that, Regardless of how the rest of the season turns out, I want to be able to say we won the NFC East back-to-back, a second straight NFC East crown. And obviously, hopefully I'm still holding out some hope this team gets their shit together and they get on a roll here and they go strong in the playoffs and go on the playoff run. Obviously in a perfect world, the season would end in Santa Clara with a victory. But that's neither here or there. Right now, this week the focus is on the Washington Commanders. So go out there, get the job done, prove my score wrong. That's what I want you guys to do. Reverse psychology. Prove my score wrong and get the job done. So that's what y'all got to say about this game. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. As always, go Birds. Spunky 1991 is out of here. Fly, go fly. Peace.
That's all, folks.